Jake Morrison stood at the large window of the space station. His eyes watched the strange alien ship coming closer. The ship looked like it was made of crystal and glass. When the light from the two suns hit it, the ship created beautiful rainbow colors that spread across the darkness of space. Jake was a commander in the Earth Space Navy. He had been in space for 15 years. He had seen many things, but he had never seen anything like this. Today was special. Today was the day humans would meet aliens for the first time. Real aliens from faraway planets who had been traveling between stars for thousands of years. The space station was built just for this meeting. It took 3 years to build and cost more money than most countries had. Every person on Earth was watching today. Every news station was broadcasting. Every government leader was waiting to hear. What would happen? Jake turned away from the window and walked to the meeting room. Ambassador Lisa Carter was already there. She was fixing her special clothes and checking her hair in a small mirror. Lisa was the smartest person Jake had ever met. She could speak 12 different languages and had studied alien cultures for 20 years, even though no human had ever seen a real alien before. "Are you ready for this?" Jake asked her. Lisa looked up from her mirror. "Nobody can be ready for something like this. We are about to meet beings from another world. Everything we think we know about the universe is about to change." The alien ship was getting closer. Through the window, Jake could see it was much bigger than he first thought. It was at least twice the size of the biggest human ship ever built. Strange lights moved along its surface like living things. The ship made no sound at all as it moved through space. "They call themselves the Valdrians," Lisa said, reading from her notes. "They are one of the most important groups in something called the Galactic Council. The Council has 47 different alien species in it. They make decisions for most of the galaxy." Jake shook his head. 47 different species. And we just figured out how to travel faster than light 5 years ago. "That is exactly why they want to meet us," Lisa said. "New species do not usually develop faster than light travel so quickly. Most species take hundreds or thousands of years to figure it out. We did it in less than 50 years after we first went to space." The communication system made a soft sound. A voice came through the speakers. "Human station, this is the Valdrian ship Crystal Wind. We are ready to dock. Please prepare for our arrival." The voice was strange. It sounded like music mixed with the sound of wind blowing through trees. The translator made it sound like English, but Jake could hear the real alien voice underneath. "Crystal Wind, this is Station Hope. You are welcome to dock. We are ready to meet you." Jake and Lisa walked to the docking bay. 20 other humans were already waiting there. They were scientists, military officers, and government officials. Everyone was quiet. Everyone was nervous. The docking bay doors opened with a soft hiss. The alien ship connected to the station. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the inner doors opened. The first alien stepped through the doorway. Jake had seen pictures and videos that scientists had made of what aliens might look like. None of them were close to what he was seeing now. The alien was tall, almost 7 feet. Its skin was blue like the deep ocean, but it seemed to glow with its own light. It had 4 arms, and its head was longer than a human head. Most strange of all, it had 6 eyes. 3 on each side of its head. More aliens came through the door. They all looked similar, but each one was a little different. Some were taller, some shorter. Some had darker blue skin, others had skin that was almost white. They wore clothes that looked like they were made of the same crystal material as their ship. The first alien stepped forward. When it spoke, its voice was like a song. "I am High Mediator Zephyrin of the Valdrian Republic. I speak for the Galactic Council in this historic meeting. We welcome the humans to the community of star-traveling species." Lisa stepped forward. She had practiced this moment hundreds of times. "I am Ambassador Lisa Carter of the United Earth Government. We are honored to meet you and learn about the galaxy we share." Zephyrin made a gesture with all 4 of his arms. The other aliens did the same thing. "This is our greeting of respect. We give it to species we consider our equals." The formal meeting began in the station's main conference room. The aliens sat on one side of a long table. The humans sat on the other side. Jake noticed that the aliens did not seem to need chairs. They seemed to float slightly above their seats. "We have much to discuss," Zephyrin said. "Your species has developed faster than light travel very quickly. This is unusual. Most species take much longer to reach this level of technology. We are eager to learn," Lisa said. "We want to understand our place in the galaxy. We want to know about other species and other worlds." The aliens exchanged looks. Jake noticed that their eyes moved independently of each other. Some eyes looked at the humans while others looked at each other. "You wish to explore beyond your current space?" Zephyrin asked. His voice had changed. It was not as welcoming as before. "Yes," Lisa said. "We are explorers. We want to see what is out there. We want to meet other species and learn from them." The change in the aliens was immediate. They began making rapid sounds in their own language. It sounded like a whole orchestra playing very fast. Their skin colors changed too. The blue became darker, almost purple. Jake felt the hair on his arms stand up. Something was wrong. The aliens were not happy about what Lisa had said. Zephyrin turned back to the humans. His 6 eyes were all looking at them now. "Your species wishes to expand its territory, to travel to new star systems?" "Eventually, yes," Lisa said. "We have only explored a small part of space near our home planet. We want to see more." More rapid communication between the aliens. Jake noticed that other aliens had joined the conversation through their communication devices. He could hear other voices, other species, all talking at once. "We must consult with the council," Zephyrin said finally. "This meeting is postponed. We will contact you soon with our decision." The aliens stood up quickly. They moved toward the door much faster than when they had arrived. "Wait," Lisa called out. "What decision?" "We just want to talk and learn." But the aliens were already leaving. In less than 5 minutes, they were back on their ship. The crystal wind disconnected from the station and moved away quickly. Jake and Lisa stood in the empty docking bay, watching the alien ship disappear into the darkness of space. "What just happened?" Jake asked. Lisa was staring at her notes. "I do not know. Everything was going well until I mentioned exploration and expansion." Jake pulled up the star charts on his computer. He looked at the maps that showed how far humans had traveled from Earth. Something caught his attention. "Lisa, look at this." She came over to look at the screen. The map showed human space as a sphere around Earth and the nearby star systems. But the sphere had clear boundaries. It was like someone had drawn a circle around human territory. "I always thought this was just how far we had traveled," Jake said. "But look at the pattern. It is too perfect, too round." Lisa studied the map. "You think someone else drew these boundaries?" "I think," Jake said slowly, "that we are not as free to explore as we thought we were." On the screen, the map of human space looked very small compared to the rest of the galaxy. And around it, like a wall they could not see, was empty space that no human had ever crossed. The question was, why? Dr. Helen Rodriguez sat in her laboratory, watching the alien meeting for the 20th time. She had been studying the video for 3 weeks now. Every time she watched it, she noticed something new about the alien behavior. Helen was not like other scientists. She had spent her whole life studying how animals behaved when they were afraid. She could tell when a dog was scared just by looking at its body language. She could tell when a bird was about to fly away. She could even tell when a fish was nervous in its tank. Now she was using the same skills to study aliens. "Computer, slow down the video to half speed," she said. The video slowed down. She watched as Ambassador Lisa Carter asked about exploring beyond human space. She watched the aliens very carefully. "There," she said to herself, "look at that." When Lisa mentioned exploration, the alien's skin color changed. It became darker. Their breathing became faster. Their eyes moved more quickly. Even their floating became less steady. Helen had seen this exact pattern before. It was the same pattern she saw in animals. When they were terrified, she picked up her phone and called the emergency meeting number. This is Dr. Rodriguez. I need to speak to the council immediately. I know what happened at the alien meeting. 2 hours later, Helen stood in front of the most powerful people on Earth. The president was there. The head of the space program was there. Military leaders and scientists filled the room. The aliens were not just nervous, Helen said. They were scared, very scared. I have studied animal behavior for 30 years. I know fear when I see it. Director of Space Operations Claire Adams looked at the data Helen had brought. You are saying the aliens are afraid of us? No, Helen said. They are afraid of what we might find if we explore beyond our current space. Intelligence Officer Ben Murphy had been quiet until now. He stood up and activated a large screen. Dr. Rodriguez is right. I have been monitoring space communications since the meeting. There has been more alien communication in the past 3 weeks than in the past 3 years. The screen showed patterns of radio signals coming from all over the galaxy. Dozens of different types of signals. All of them had started right after the meeting with the Valdrians. Every major alien species is talking to each other, Ben continued. They are using emergency communication channels, the kind they only use during wars or disasters. Claire studied the communication patterns. What are they saying? That is the problem, Ben said. They are using codes we cannot break? But the pattern is clear. They are all talking about the same thing. And they are all very worried. Helen activated another screen. This one showed a map of the galaxy. Look at this. I have been studying where all the known alien species live. The map showed dozens of different colored areas. Each color represented a different alien species territory. But as everyone looked at the map, they began to see a pattern. Every alien territory stops at a certain point, Helen said. And if you draw a line connecting all those stopping points, you get a perfect circle. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the map. And at the center of that circle, Helen continued, is human space? The president leaned forward. Are you saying we are surrounded? I'm saying we are contained, Helen answered. Look at the pattern. No alien species has territory that comes close to human space. They all stop at the same distance from us. Ben added more data to the map. It gets worse. I have been tracking the alien ships that have been moving around the galaxy. They are not patrolling their own territory. They are patrolling the boundary around human space. Claire stood up and walked to the map. So we are in a cage. The question is, Helen said, why? What are they trying to keep us from finding? Or what are they trying to keep from finding us? The Secretary of Defense spoke for the first time. Maybe they think we are dangerous, Helen shook her head. If they thought we were dangerous, they would attack us or try to control us. This is different. This is like they are trying to protect something. Protect what? The president asked. That is what we need to find out, Helen said. Ben pulled up more data. I have been analyzing the alien communication patterns. They are not just talking to each other. They are talking to someone else, someone who is not responding. What do you mean? Claire asked. There are signals going out to specific parts of the galaxy, the same parts over and over. But nothing is coming back. It is like they are trying to contact someone who is not there anymore. Helen looked at the new data. Where are these signals going? Ben highlighted areas on the map. Here, here, and here. All in the central part of the galaxy. All in areas that should have advanced alien civilizations, but our telescopes show nothing there. The room was quiet for a long time. Everyone was thinking about what this meant. There used to be alien civilizations in the center of the galaxy, Claire said slowly. But they are gone now. And the remaining aliens built a wall around human space, Helen added. To keep us from finding out what happened to the others, Ben finished. The president rubbed his forehead. This is a lot to process. You are telling me that the aliens are keeping us in a cage not because we are dangerous, but because they are trying to protect us from something. Or protect something from us, Helen said. We do not know which. General Patricia Hayes, the head of military intelligence, had been listening quietly. Now she spoke. There is another possibility. What if we are not being protected? What if we are being saved for something? Everyone looked at her. Think about it, she continued. We developed faster than light, travel much faster than other species. We are more aggressive than most aliens seem to be. We came from a planet where we had to fight to survive. Maybe we are different in ways that matter, Helen nodded slowly. In nature, when animals are kept separate from others, it is usually for breeding purposes. You keep the strongest animals separate so they can develop without interference. Are you saying we are being bred? The president asked. I'm saying we are being kept pure, Helen answered. Kept from outside influence, allowed to develop on our own. Ben pulled up more communication data. There is something else. The aliens are not just talking to each other about us. They are talking about something called the return. I do not know what it means, but they mention it a lot. The return of what? Claire asked. I do not know. But whatever it is, they think it is connected to us. The president stood up. We need more information. We need to know what is beyond the boundaries they have set for us. General Hayes nodded. I recommend we send a secret mission. A ship that can cross the boundary without being detected. Is that even possible? The president asked. Claire thought for a moment. Our faster-than-light technology is different from theirs? We learned that from the meeting. Our ships work differently. Maybe they cannot detect our ships the same way they detect each other. It is worth trying, Ben said. But we need to be careful. If we are caught, it could start a war. If we do nothing, Helen said, we may never understand what is happening. To us, we may never know why we are in this cage. The president looked around the room. Who do we send? General Hayes already had an answer. Captain Ryan Foster. He is our best pilot and our most experienced explorer. If anyone can cross the boundary without being detected, it is him. And if he finds something we do not want to find? The president asked. Then at least we will know the truth, Helen said. And in my experience, the truth is always better than living in fear of the unknown. The meeting ended with a decision. Captain Ryan Foster would take the newest and most advanced human ship across the boundary. He would find out what the aliens were hiding. He would discover why the galactic map cut off at human space, but none of them knew that the truth was far more terrifying than anything they could imagine. Captain Ryan Foster stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge. The ship was the newest and most advanced vessel in the human fleet. It was also the most secret. Only 12 people knew about this mission. Only 12 people knew that Ryan was about to cross the invisible boundary that kept humanity trapped in their small corner of the galaxy. Navigation status report, Ryan said to his crew. Amy Chun looked up from her control panel. We are approaching the theoretical boundary zone, Captain. All systems are normal. Amy was the best navigation officer in the fleet. She had been chosen for this mission because she could read space better than anyone else. She could spot problems before the computer systems even detected them. Engineering report, Ryan called out. Tony Martinez checked his instruments. All systems working perfectly, Captain. The faster-than-light drive is ready for anything. Tony had helped design the human FTL drive. It was different from alien technology. While aliens folded space or created wormholes, humans used quantum tunneling. Most aliens thought it was primitive, but it had one advantage. It worked differently than anything else in the galaxy. Sensors report, Ryan said. Communications Officer Pete Williams was monitoring everything around them. Space appears normal, Captain, but I am detecting some unusual readings ahead. Ryan looked at the main screen. In front of them was empty. Space, but according to their instruments, it was not really empty. What kind of unusual readings? Ryan asked. Pete enhanced the sensor display. Gravitational readings are off the charts, Captain. It is like there are massive objects out there, but I cannot see them. Amy studied her navigation instruments. Captain, I think I know what we are looking at. The boundary is not just imaginary. It is real. Someone has built something out there. Ryan moved to Amy's station. Show me. Amy highlighted the sensor data. Look at this pattern. There are objects placed at regular intervals in a perfect circle. around human space. Each object is creating a massive gravitational field. How massive? Ryan asked. Massive enough to make normal FTL travel impossible, Amy answered. Any ship using standard galactic technology would be torn apart trying to cross this boundary. Tony looked up from his engineering station. But our technology is different. Our quantum tunneling system ignores most gravitational effects. We might be able to cross where other ships cannot. Ryan thought about this. So the aliens did not just draw a line around human space. They built a real wall. A wall that only works against their own technology, Amy said. They never expected US to develop something different. Pete suddenly looked up from his instruments. Captain, I am detecting ships on the other side of the boundary. The main screen changed to show the tactical display. Dozens of dots appeared on the screen. Each dot represented a ship. How many ships? Ryan asked. 47 ships, Captain. All different designs. They appear to be from different alien species. Ryan studied the pattern. They are not moving. They are just sitting there. They are guarding the boundary, Amy said, but not from the inside. They are on the outside, looking in. Or looking out, Tony said quietly. Ryan made a decision that would change everything. We are going to cross a boundary, prepare for FTL jump. Captain, Pete said, should we report back to Earth first? No, Ryan said. If we report back, they will order us to return. We need to know what is on the other side of that wall. Amy set the navigation coordinates. Ready for jump, Captain. Tony, is the drive ready? Ready, Captain. But I cannot predict what will happen when we cross the gravitational barrier. Only one way to find out, Ryan said. Execute jump. The horizon's edge disappeared from normal space and entered the quantum tunnel. For a moment, everything was normal. Then, the ship hit the gravitational barrier. Alarms started ringing. The ship shook violently. Warning lights flashed on every control panel. Hull integrity holding, Tony reported. But the gravitational stress is enormous. Navigation's still working, Amy called out. We are still in the tunnel. Almost through, Pete added. Then, suddenly, everything was calm. The alarm stopped. The shaking stopped. The warning lights went out. Jump complete, Amy announced. We have crossed the boundary, Ryan looked at the main screen. They were on the other side of the invisible wall that had kept humanity contained. But what they saw made everyone fall silent. Dear God, Pete whispered. The space around them was filled with wreckage. Massive pieces of destroyed ships floated in the darkness. Some pieces were as large as space stations. Others were small fragments that sparkled in the light of distant stars. Sensor scan, Ryan ordered. Amy worked at her controls. Captain, I am detecting wreckage from dozens of different ship types. The designs are unlike anything in our database. How old is this wreckage? Ryan asked. Tony ran analysis on the debris. Some of it is ancient, Captain. Thousands of years old. But some of it is much more recent. Maybe only a few hundred years old? Pete was monitoring communications. Captain, I am picking up automated signals from some of the wreckage. Distress beacons that are still broadcasting. Play them, Ryan ordered, the bridge filled with sounds. From the wreckage, most of it was static and noise. But some signals were clear enough to understand. Warning, warning, do not approach the core systems. They're gone. Everything is gone. Emergency broadcast. This is the Altarian science vessel Golden Dawn. We are abandoning our mission. The core worlds are destroyed. Repeat, the core worlds are destroyed. To any ship receiving this message, stay away from the galactic center. Something is hunting us. Something that destroys entire civilizations. Ryan listened to message after message. All of them said the same thing. All of them were warnings to stay away from the center of the galaxy. How many different languages? Are these messages in? Ryan asked. Pete checked his translation systems. At least 30 different languages, Captain. From species we have never heard of. Amy was studying the wreckage patterns. Captain, look at this. The wreckage is not random. It forms a pattern, like the ships were trying to escape from something. Ryan studied the tactical display. Amy was right. The wreckage formed lines pointing away from the galactic center, like ships had been fleeing and been destroyed while trying to escape. Tony, what destroyed these ships? Tony analyzed the wreckage. I cannot tell, Captain. The destruction patterns are unlike anything I have seen. It is not weapons damage. It is not collision damage. It is like the ships were just ... torn apart. Torn apart by what? I do not know. But whatever did this was methodical, systematic. This was not random destruction. Ryan made another decision. We are going deeper. Set course for the galactic center. Captain, Amy said, are you sure about this? All these messages are warnings. To stay away. That is exactly why we need to go, Ryan said. We need to know what happened here. We need to know what the aliens are so afraid of. The horizon's edge moved deeper into the graveyard of ships. As they traveled, they found more wreckage, more distress beacons, more warnings, but they also found something else. At the center of the wreckage field, they found the remains of entire planets. Captain, Amy said, her voice shaking, I am detecting asteroid fields where star systems should be. These are not natural asteroid fields. These are the remains of destroyed planets. Ryan looked at the sensor data. Where their maps showed that advanced alien civilizations should be, there was nothing. Only debris and broken worlds. How many civilizations? Ryan asked. At least 12 star systems, Captain, all destroyed, all reduced to asteroid fields. Peep was monitoring communications from the alien ships they had passed. Captain, the alien ships at the boundary are moving. They know we crossed over. They are trying to contact us. What are they saying? They are telling us to come back. They are saying it is not safe. They are saying we do not understand what we are dealing with. Ryan looked at his crew. Do we go back? Amy studied the navigation data. Captain, if we go back now, we will never know the truth. We will never know what happened to all these civilizations, Tony nodded. And if something did destroy all these advanced civilizations, then maybe humanity needs to know about it? Pete looked up from his communications. Captain, I am detecting something else. There are more signals coming from deeper in the galaxy, signals that are not warnings. What kind of signals? I do not know. But they are not from any species we have encountered. They are something else entirely. Ryan made his final decision. We continue. We find out what happened here. We find out what the aliens are hiding from us. The horizon's edge moved deeper into the destroyed region of the galaxy. Behind them, the alien ships at the boundary could only watch and wait. For the first time in thousands of years, someone was investigating the mystery at the heart of the galaxy. Someone was going to find out what had destroyed the greatest civilizations the galaxy had ever known. The horizon's edge moved slowly through the graveyard of dead civilizations. Captain Ryan Foster watched the main screen as more destroyed worlds appeared on their sensors. Each one told the same terrible story. Advanced civilizations had lived here once. Now there was nothing but broken pieces floating in space. Dr. Susan Blake was the ship's expert on ancient cultures and archaeology. She had joined the mission to study any alien artifacts they might find. She never expected to find anything like this. Captain, Susan said, looking at her analysis of the wreckage, I need to show you something important. Ryan walked over to Susan's station. What did you find? Susan displayed her data on the main screen. I have been studying the destroyed ships and planets. The destruction patterns are not random. Look at this. The screen showed a map of the destroyed region. Different colors marked where different civilizations had been destroyed. But there was a clear pattern. The destruction moved outward from the center, Susan explained. Like something started at the galactic core and worked its way out, and it took time. Thousands of years. Navigation Officer Amy Chun looked at the pattern. It looks like whatever did this was systematic. It destroyed one civilization completely before moving to the next. How complete is complete? Ryan asked. Susan brought up more data. Total extinction. Every planet in each star system was destroyed, not just damaged, completely broken apart. And I found something else that is very disturbing. She highlighted specific areas on the map. Some of these civilizations tried to run. They evacuated their homeworlds and tried to escape to other parts of the galaxy. But the destruction followed. No matter where they went, they were found and destroyed. Communications Officer Pete Williams was monitoring the signals from the wreckage. Captain, I have been analyzing the distress messages. Some of them describe what happened. Play. The clearest ones, Ryan ordered. Pete activated the audio system. An alien voice spoke in a language the computer translated. This is Commander Veltar of the Corvani Republic. We thought we were safe in the outer colonies. We were wrong. It found us. The hunters found us. They are not ships. They are not weapons. They are something else, something that should not exist. Another message played, this one from a different species. Scientific log, final entry. We have studied the enemy for 300 years. We know what they want. They hunt advanced civilizations. The more advanced you become, the more likely they are to find you. They wait in the dark spaces between stars. They watch. They learn, then they strike. A third message, barely audible through static, warning to all species. Do not use quantum. Communication. Do not build large space structures. Do not expand too far too fast. They notice these things. They come for species that become too powerful, too advanced, too curious about the universe. Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. They hunt advanced civilizations, Susan nodded. And humanity is becoming an advanced civilization very quickly. Engineer Tony Martinez looked up from his instruments. Captain, I am detecting something. Ahead, it is not wreckage. Amy checked her navigation sensors. Confirmed, there is a structure ahead. It appears to be intact. Ryan looked at the main screen. In the distance, barely visible, was something that was not destroyed. Take us closer. Carefully. The horizon's edge approached the object slowly. As they got closer, they could see what it was. A massive space station bigger than anything humans had ever built. But it was dark, no lights, no power signatures, no signs of life. It is a research station, Susan said, analyzing the structure. Look at those sensor arrays. This was built to study something. Pete scanned for any active systems. I am detecting very weak power readings. Some systems are still functioning on emergency power. Can we dock with it? Ryan asked. Tony studied. The station's design. It has a universal docking port. Whoever built this expected visits from different species. Ryan made another dangerous decision. We are going aboard. Susan, Tony, Pete, you are with me. Amy, you stay here and monitor everything. If something goes wrong, you get back to Earth and warn them. Amy did not like being left behind, but she understood. Someone needed to survive to tell the story. The 4 crew members put on their spacesuits and crossed to the alien station. The docking port opened easily. Inside, the station was cold and dark. Their flashlights were the only source of light. Gravity is working, Tony reported. Life support is minimal but functional. They moved through the station carefully. The corridors were wide and tall, built for beings much larger than humans. Strange symbols covered the walls. These symbols are not like any alien language we know, Susan said. This station is from one of the destroyed civilizations. They reached the main control center. Emergency lights flickered weakly. Computer screens showed data in alien languages. Pete connected his translation device to the station's computer. I am getting some translations. This station was called the Deep Watch. It was built to monitor something called the Silence. The Silence? Ryan asked. More data appeared on the screens. Pete, read the translations. The Silence is what they called the empty spaces between galaxies. The places where nothing should exist. Susan found what looked like a research log. Captain, this is incredible. This station was studying the things that destroyed all these civilizations. They called them the Watchers. The computer system activated more screens. Data flowed across them in dozens of languages. According to this, Pete translated. "The Watchers come from the silence. They are not from our galaxy. They come from the empty space between galaxies." Tony was studying the technical data. "Look at this. The Watchers are not biological. They are not machines either. They are something else. Something that exists in the quantum spaces between matter." Susan found video records. "Captain, I think I can play some of their research footage." The main screen activated. Grainy images appeared. At first there was nothing but empty space. Then something moved in the darkness. It was hard to see, like a shadow that existed in 3 dimensions. "They are hard to detect," Susan read from the research notes. "They exist partially outside normal space. They can move through matter. They can appear anywhere without warning." The video showed more images. Planets being consumed by darkness. Ships disappearing without a trace. Entire star systems going silent. How do they destroy planets? Ryan asked. Pete found more technical data. "They do not destroy planets with weapons. They convert matter into energy. They feed on the complexity of advanced civilizations. The more advanced a civilization becomes, the more they want it." Tony was studying power readings from the station. "Captain, something is wrong. The station's power levels are increasing. Something is activating the systems." Alarms began to sound throughout the station. Warning lights flashed. Susan looked at the research data frantically. "Captain, according to this, the station was designed to hide from the Watchers. It was supposed to stay completely dark and silent. And we just activated it," Ryan realized. Pete checked his communication equipment. "Captain, I am detecting signals leaving the station. Our presence here has triggered some kind of automatic beacon." Amy's voice came through their communicators from the ship. "Captain, you need to get back here immediately. I am detecting movement in the silence. Something is coming." They ran back to their ship as fast as they could. Behind them, the research station was lighting up more and more. Systems that had been dormant for thousands of years were coming back online. Back on the horizon's edge, Amy showed them what she had detected. "Captain, look at this. The space around us is changing. Reality itself is bending. On the sensors, they could see distortions in space. Areas where the normal laws of physics seem to be breaking down." "They are coming," Susan said, reading the final research notes she had downloaded. "The Watchers are coming to investigate the signal." Ryan looked at his crew. "How long do we have?" Amy checked her instruments. "Based on the distortion patterns, maybe 10 minutes before they arrive. Can we get back through the barrier in time?" "I do not know," Amy said. "Our quantum drive is fast, but these things move in ways we do not understand." Tony was already working on the engines. "I am pushing the drive to maximum power. But Captain, if we run now, we will never get another chance to study them." Ryan faced the hardest decision of his life. They could try to escape and warn humanity about the Watchers. Or they could stay and try to learn more about the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known. "If we stay, we might not survive to warn anyone," Pete pointed out. "If we run without learning more, humanity might face the same fate as all these other civilizations." Susan countered. The distortions in space were getting stronger. Whatever was coming was almost there. Ryan made his choice. Captain Ryan Foster stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge, watching space itself bend and twist around his ship. The distortions were getting stronger. Whatever was coming from the silence was almost there. "We stay," Ryan decided. "We need to see them. We need to understand what humanity is facing." Amy Chun gripped her navigation controls. "Captain, the space distortions are affecting our instruments. I cannot get accurate readings on anything." "Keep the engines ready," Ryan ordered. "The moment we have enough information, we run." Dr. Susan Blake was downloading everything she could from the research station's computers. "Captain, I am getting more data about the Watchers. This could save humanity." Engineer Tony Martinez watched his power readings carefully. "Engine power at maximum. But Captain, the quantum distortions might prevent us from entering our tunnel drive." Communications. Officer Pete Williams monitored the area around them. Captain, the distortions are creating interference patterns. It is like reality is being rewritten. Then, suddenly, everything went quiet. The alarms stopped. The distortions stopped. Even the background radiation of space seemed to disappear. What happened? Ryan asked as Amy checked her sensors. Everything just went silent. No readings, no signals, nothing. Pete looked at his communication equipment. It is like we are cut off from the rest of the universe. That was when they saw it. At first, it looked like a shadow in space, a dark area where no stars were visible. But as they watched, the shadow began to move. It was not blocking the light from the stars. It was something that existed in the spaces between light itself. Recording everything, Susan said, her voice shaking with excitement and fear. The shadow grew larger. It was not approaching their ship. It was already there, all around them. They were inside something that should not exist. Sensors are useless, Amy reported. Whatever this thing is, it does not follow normal physics. Tony watched his instruments. Power levels are fluctuating. It is like something is studying our technology. Then the shadow began to take shape. It was not one creature. It was many creatures working together. They moved like liquid darkness, flowing around the ship, examining it from every angle. They are scanning us, Pete said. I can feel it somehow. They are learning about us. Ryan could feel it too. A presence in his mind, cold and ancient and curious. It was not trying to communicate. It was studying him like a scientist studies a new specimen. Captain, Susan called out, the research data says they usually destroy ships immediately, but they are not attacking us. Why not? Ryan asked. Susan read more of the downloaded files. According to this, they only destroy civilizations that have reached a certain level of advancement. Maybe we are not advanced enough yet. Amy suddenly looked up from her controls. Captain, they are doing something to our ship. The quantum drive is changing. Tony checked his engineering systems. They are modifying our technology. I do not understand how, but they are improving it. The presence in Ryan's mind grew stronger. Images began to flow through his thoughts. He saw the galaxy as it had been thousands of years ago. Hundreds of advanced civilizations. Beautiful worlds filled with art and science and culture. Then he saw what happened to them. The Watchers had come from the silence between galaxies. They were not evil. They were gardeners. They cultivated civilizations like farmers cultivate crops. They allowed civilizations to grow and develop and become advanced. Then, when the civilizations reached perfect advancement, the Watchers harvested them. The energy and knowledge of each harvested civilization made the Watchers stronger. They had been doing this for millions of years. They had harvested thousands of galaxies. They think advanced civilizations are beautiful, Ryan said, understanding flooding through him. They preserve them by absorbing them. They think they are saving us from the chaos of existence. Susan looked at him. How do you know that? They are showing me. They want me to understand. More images flowed through Ryan's mind. He saw Earth. He saw humanity spreading through the galaxy. He saw human technology advancing rapidly. The Watchers had been watching humanity for decades. They were impressed by how quickly humans learned and adapted, but they were not ready to harvest humanity yet. Humans were still too primitive, too young. The Watchers wanted humanity to grow more advanced first. They wanted the harvest to be perfect. That is why the other aliens built the barrier, Ryan realized. They were not protecting us from the Watchers. They were helping the Watchers protect their investment. Pete looked confused. What do you mean? The aliens know about the Watchers. They made a deal with them. The aliens get to live safely in their small territories. In exchange, they help keep young civilizations contained until the Watchers are ready to harvest them. Amy understood immediately. We are livestock. The barrier is a pen to keep us contained until we are ready for slaughter. The presence in Ryan's mind showed him more. He saw the alien species that survived. They were all old civilizations that had stopped advancing. They had reached a certain level of technology and then deliberately stopped progressing. They lived quiet, simple lives within their boundaries. They were safe because they never became advanced enough to be worth harvesting. But humanity is different, Susan said, reading Ryan's expression. We do not stop advancing. We keep pushing forward. We are aggressive explorers, Tony added. We take risks. We want to see what is beyond every boundary. The Watchers found this fascinating. Most civilizations eventually became comfortable and stopped advancing, but humans were different. They had the potential to become more advanced than any civilization the Watchers had ever harvested. The presence in Ryan's mind grew warmer. The Watchers were pleased with humanity. They wanted to give humans a gift. They wanted to help humanity advance even faster. They are upgrading our technology, Tony said, watching his instruments. Our faster-than-light drive is becoming something completely new. Amy looked at her navigation systems. Captain, we now have the ability to travel anywhere in the galaxy. Instantly, and to other galaxies too. Pete checked his communications. We can now communicate across any distance in real time. The barriers between space mean nothing anymore. Susan downloaded the last of the research station data. Captain, they are giving us the technology that belonged to all the civilizations they harvested. Thousands of years of advancement in a few minutes, but Ryan understood the price. They expect us to use this technology. They want us to become the most advanced civilization in the galaxy as quickly as possible. So they can harvest us, Amy said. So they can harvest the greatest civilization they have ever found. Ryan corrected. The shadow around their ship began to fade. The Watchers were leaving. But the presence in Ryan's mind left him with one final message. Humanity had been chosen. They would be given every opportunity to advance. Every tool they needed would be provided. But when humanity reached perfect advancement, the Watchers would return, and they would be ready to harvest the greatest prize in galactic history. The horizon's edge was suddenly alone in space again. The distortions were gone. The research station was dark again. Everything seemed normal except for their ship's completely transformed technology. Course for Earth? Amy asked. Ryan thought about what he would tell the people back home. How do you explain that humanity has been chosen to become the greatest civilization in the galaxy, only to be destroyed at the moment of their greatest triumph? Set course for Earth, Ryan decided. We have a warning to deliver. And a choice. To offer what choice? Pete asked. Whether humanity wants to live safely within boundaries like the other alien species, Ryan said, or whether we want to risk everything to reach for the stars. The horizon's edge began its journey home. Behind them, the graveyard of dead civilizations served as a reminder of what happened to species that chose advancement over safety. Ahead of them lay Earth, unaware that it faced the greatest decision in human history. The galactic map cut off a human space because beyond it lay a test that would determine whether humanity would join the ranks of the safely contained or become the greatest harvest the Watchers had ever claimed. The choice was now in humanity's hands.